Okay, good afternoon, everyone. If I can ask you to please get your speakers and your earphones ready if you have them, please do. All right, so we can begin.
Pasensya ka na sa mga kathang isip kong ito. Wari dala lang ng pagmamahal sa iyo.
Did that sound familiar?
From waves overgrown come the calmest of seas, and all will be alright in time. Oh, you never really love someone until you learn to forgive.
How about that one? Did that one sound familiar?
Was there a lifetime waiting for us in a world where I was yours? Is it the wrong time? What if we tried giving in a little more to the ones we've had before?
Or maybe you recognize that one. So I bet you've heard these songs before. These are some songs by the popular OPM band called Ben&Ben. So these are their songs, Katang Isip, Believes, and Lifetime. So why are we talking about these songs? Why did I show them to you? Because this is what my paper is all about. So my topic is Hugot as a way of philosophizing through the lens of OPM. We're going to look into how Ben&Ben songs give art a moral purpose as defined by Leo Tolstoy. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andrea Beatriz A. Vitog, or Andy Vitog, from the PLM Philly A51 class. To start off, this is our presentation outline. First, I'm going to be defining Hugot. I'm going to tell you all about Philippine Hugot culture. Then I'm going to introduce Ben&Ben to you very shortly, and then I'm going to present the statement of the problem, the argument. We're going to talk about Leo Tolstoy, my findings, and finally my conclusion. So first off, to define Hugot. Basically, Hugot is a Filipino phenomenon. So hugot literally means to pull out. So hugot is the process of pulling out or evoking an emotion out of someone, and it's greatly connected to the sentimental framework of the Filipino audience because, of course, as Filipinos, we're very emotional and we find ways to connect to media in very strongly through hugot. So moving on, we're going to talk about Philippine Hugot culture. So Philippine Hugot culture around 2014, 2015 was really when this started to blow up. First off, we have the movie That Thing Called Tadhana. So this is a film by Antoinette Hadaune. So this is the highest grossing indie film in the country. And this is very significant in the Hugot culture. A lot of the lines from this movie have been shared around the internet countless times, and it was so big that it even faced a lot of piracy concerns. Which of course is not a good thing, but just really goes to show how much people wanted to watch it and how relatable people found it to be. So they wanted to share it with their friends. So moving on, we also have a year after that, we have Juan Miguel Severo and the rise of spoken word poetry. So you might recognize Juan Miguel Severo because he's actually a friend of Antoinette Hadaune. And Antoinette Hadaune is also the woman behind the On the Wings of Love teleserye starring Nadine Lustre and James Reid. Juan Miguel Severo had a part in this wherein he played one of the side characters, but then he really blew up because he performed spoken word on the show, which is what really started the popularity of the spoken word scene here locally. So you might know him. He's the person behind ang huling tula na isusulat ko para sa'yo. So these two played really big roles in the popularization of Hugot culture. But moving on, aside from this, from the film and this form of art, which is spoken word, we also have music. So we have OPM. Of course, you can't forget OPM. So this is Ben&Ben. So from the left, going to the right, we have Poch Barreto, Tony Munoz, Pat Lasatan, Paolo Benjamin Goico, Jam Villanueva, Andrew Depano, Miguel Benjamin Goico, Agnes Rioma, and Kiefer Kagubao. So they actually won the award, the Awit Award, for favorite album of the year for their first album, Limasawa Street, and in 2019. And in the Philippines, they were also the most streamed artist for the entire year of 2020 from Spotify. So what is the statement of the problem? So the statement of the problem is, does the Hugot, or does the presence of Hugot, or the Hugot readiness of something add to the experience of consuming art? Or does it do the opposite and put a damper on something we should be enjoying? So basically, my paper just really wants to see whether or not Hugot is something that adds to the artistic value of Ben&Ben specifically, or of their songs, and if this is something that's good or if it's something that's bad. Okay, so this is my argument. I argue that yes, Hugot readiness adds to the artistic value, and the sort of framework that this will follow is Leo Tolstoy's definition of art. And I will also hypothesize that listeners will not feel as isolated in their struggles because they are able to find other listeners that are relating to the same experiences that they have. To prove my argument, first let's delve into Leo Tolstoy and art. So basically, Leo Tolstoy says that art is present when an artist is able to convey their feelings to their audience, or they're able to present the emotions of life. Tolstoy also wanted art to serve a moral purpose. So this is community building and finding common humanity under God. So he says that this is just something that brings people together, with real life experiences. In short, so this is how I'm going to present my argument. Um, my paper presents all the lyrics of Ben&Ben's three songs, Katang Isip, Leaves, and Lifetime, and also presents some of the top comments under the music videos, which can be found on YouTube. So of course, on the paper itself, this shows the entire sheet of lyrics. But in the interest of a short presentation, I'm just going to show you a few lines from the songs. So these three songs are actually handpicked by me because Ben&Ben's YouTube channel no longer has the feature wherein you can sort it by the most viewed songs or the most viewed videos. And Spotify doesn't sort the songs on the artist page based on the number of streams. It just shows the ones that are currently popular at that time, so that you check it. So I just handpicked a few that I would like to discuss in my paper. So first, you have Katang Isip. It's basically just a song about unrequited love. So it's in Filipino. So it's about how the protagonist or the narrator loves someone else, but then the someone else doesn't love them in return, or at least not in the same way. These are the top comments from the Katang Isip music video. So as you can see here, a lot of people share their own musings related to the video. And then here you have this person, France, saying that they saw themselves begging for love and attention, then they learn to love themselves, and it's getting lonelier but getting peaceful in the long run. So as you can see, all three of these comments have a lot of thumbs up votes. So usually on YouTube, of course, people vote the thumbs up, or they click the thumbs up on comments if they agree with them, or if they want to support them, um, or if they want to show that they relate to them, of course. And they also have a bunch of replies, so there's a lot of discourse going on. And so this is Katang Isip. Next we have Leaves. So Leaves just tells us that Leaves is actually a hopeful song. It's quite sad, but it's also hopeful because it talks about the sad experience that this person is going through. But then it continues to tell us that all will be all right in time. And as you can see, from waves overgrown come the calmest of seas, and you never really love someone until you learn to forgive. So it's hopeful, it's sorrowful, but it's hopeful. These are the comments under the Leaves music video. So if you can see here, this first person, Jane, talks about how their father passed away, and they're reminded of how all will be all right even though their loved one has left them. And then the comment under Jane's comment talks about how it gives us a different angle. It's not about a romantic relationship, but it talks about how they hope that their parents will be proud of them, even though they don't pursue what their parents want them to. So it just goes to show that Hugot is not just something that can be related to love and relationships or romantic love, but it's just anything that someone is able to relate to and just feel close to. So as you can see, there are also lots of thumbs up votes for this, and again, quite relatable. So these people are not alone in their musings and their sharings. Lastly, we have Lifetime. This is the most recent song that's come out of the three. So Lifetime basically asks whether there could have been a future for these two people that may have had something between them, but then they never pursued it. So it tells us that buried feelings grow and secrets turn into regrets. So of course, for a lot of people, this is a sad thing because a lot of people are afraid of the friend zone, and they don't want to risk ruining the friendship, so they don't talk about their feelings about this other person, even though they might feel really deeply for them. So a fun fact is actually that the song Lifetime was based on a fan's comment under the Pagdingin music video, which is another Ben and Ben song. So this fan talked about how they had this friend, but then they never pursued a relationship, which is, it's something that moved the band so much that they decided to write an entire song about it, and now it's just immortalized there. So as you can see, like there are also a lot of comments here. People are saying that you're like the greatest love is the one you never had, and then they're thinking about what it would be like to risk something for someone who doesn't feel the same. And there are a lot of I think this has a lot of top votes. Out of all the three songs, I think this one has the most top comments, the most top votes. A lot of people feel really deeply to these comments, even though they're obviously not as detailed as the previous ones. But then people still feel that they relate to this, and they want to show support, and they want to validate these other listeners in the music video comment section. So from these three songs, Katang Isip, Leaves, and Lifetime, I've concluded that listeners have found ways to connect to the music. Since you can see, they've made different connections, not just the ones that the artist maybe intended to share. It wasn't. There are a lot of people that related to the unrequited love, but then someone also felt that Leaves, aside from it being about something that's a romantic relationship, they also talked about how this could relate to their parents. So listeners really found connections to this. Um, I've also found that pages of the music videos are safe spaces wherein people are provided with virtual validation and commonalities. So the moral value of this art is very evident, and that's because of how personal and honest and vulnerable the Ben and Ben members got in writing and producing and putting out these very important songs. So, but of course, it's very important to have music as a form of entertainment, and music is something that we love. It accompanies us on commutes and our daily tasks, our daily grind, as they say. Um, it's bigger than just the sounds that you hear. It's also the feelings that you feel and the experiences that you go through and that you share with other people. Ben and Ben has truly added to their artistic value by using the Hugot'ness of their songs. All right, so that's my conclusion. Here are my references. Um, I have a lot. So this includes my references in the paper and for the presentation. Thank you for listening again. I'm Andy Vitog from PLM Philly A51. Have a great day.